Hey guys, thanks for tuning in again and welcome to another YouTube video of us. Today we're going to talk about our toes and our foot, why it's so important to be able to move our toes independently and why it's so important to have sufficient foot and toe strength. We're going to cover and show you 3 exercises to improve that, so enjoy the video and we hope you will learn something.
Okay, so I want to start with explaining to you why our foot health and toe strength is so important for our overall health. And we're going to start by looking at our gait. So our toe strength and the ability to move our toes actively is really important for a healthy or normal gait pattern, as you will see here. So it's really important to be able to go into extension of the toe in order to walk normally. And our feet are usually, or the majority of people's or humans' feet nowadays, is more foot-like shaped than foot-shaped. Okay, and we have an article about that on our website. We'll link it in the description below so you can have a look at that because we don't want to go into too much detail in this video. But basically what you want to make sure is that your foot is more foot-shaped and not shoe-shaped. Okay, that's basically the difference. And with that foot-shaped, with that shoe-shaped pattern or with that foot-shaped form comes less stability and less strength, and your body has to compensate in other ways to make sure that you can still walk upright. So, and that is where pain or weakness, instability, or compensatory patterns from other joints come into play, because your foot doesn't have the ability to move or your toes don't have the ability to move the way they're supposed to. So we'll go into the exercises right now, and as I said, check out the article to find out more about that. So we will start by playing the piano with our toes, and that basically means we're going through different toe movements at a time. So we'll start by keeping our 4 smaller toes on the ground and then try to lift the big toe off the ground. So some of you might be struggling to keep the lower ones on the ground or your other toes. So in this case, you'll just place your hand on top of the other toes and then try to lift the big toe. Great. And then really try to keep your foot on the ground and to only lift the toes. So don't try to lift the foot off the ground, okay? So really just trying to lift and then go through a few repetitions here. Like 5 to 10 repetitions. And at the beginning, you can do each foot at a time. So now that he's done this side, you can say, okay, do the other side. And that basically brings more awareness to your toes, because most people don't have a very good awareness and the way their toes move. And as I already mentioned, this is really important. So next up, we're going to keep our big toes on the ground and then try to lift the 4 other toes. Exactly. And again, if you're struggling to lift them off, you can then place your hand on top of the big toes and then lift the other toes off. Exactly. And you try to lift as high as possible. And then another one, which is really fun actually, which is where the piano comes in. You're going to lift all your toes off the ground, and then you're going to try to touch the pinky toe on the ground first, and then follow with each toe at a time. Exactly. One at a time, and then the big toe touches the ground first. Really important, really try to find a connection to each toe and touch each toe on the ground on its own. So you don't want to just use all 3 toes at the same time and put them on the ground, okay? So you really want to try to find the connection to be able to move each toe independently of each other.
So the last 2 exercises we show you here are for toe extension and toe flexion, which is really important and fundamental for toe strength and overall foot health. So we start with extension of the toe, and we speak especially of the big toe because it's the strongest and most important toe when it comes to our foot, right, and to our walking pattern. So to improve that, or to get a stronger toe extension, you can easily do isometric. So the hardest version would be by not using the blocks, going, for example, here in this position, knees on the ground, and try to have the weight over the big toe, so not shifting your ankle, yes, from behind it's a little bit better, to the side like that, so there's less pressure on the big toe. Try to have the heel really close and narrow, so that the full weight is on the big toe, and you will feel it if you play around in this position. So you can apply isometrics to that or in that position by pushing it into the ground as hard as you can, and then you build up strength over time. If this is too hard for you, then you easily can elevate your knees so there's less pressure on your big toe, or even higher if it's still too uncomfortable for you. So as I said, isometrics are a great way to improve your toe strength in a certain position which you can handle. Okay, so next up, flexion, also a very big topic, in my opinion, or in our opinion, a topic which a lot of people really didn't consider at all to train, because it's really not in our natural movement, or it doesn't exist, right? Because we walk over extension, and flexion doesn't exist at all in our walking pattern. That's why it's so important for the function and health of the foot to also train and strengthen the toe flexion in this case. So the easiest way is to stand up and try to get a little bit of pressure onto the toes like that. And this should be very, very easy and manageable for all of you, right? If you wanted to have a little bit more intense, just bring more weight onto the toe by sliding the foot forward and just managing the weight by shifting the weight from one side of the body onto the working leg, in this case the left leg, and bring it onto your big toe. Remember, again, don't shift your foot to the side, so really make sure that your whole weight is on the big toe and comes from the top, right? And from here, again, isometric strength in the position you can handle, and it's where it's not painful. So that's very important. It shouldn't be painful. So choose your position and try to apply isometrics and thinking about straightening the toe back to normal, yeah, like that. So pushing both and all toes, especially the big toe, into the ground as hard as you can. Therefore, you train isometrically and strengthen your toes and your intrinsic foot strength. So that was the introduction into toe strength and toe movement, why it's so important, and of course the exercise and the drills to improve the toe strength and toe movement overall. So if you liked it, leave a like or subscribe to our channel. Subscribe to our channel. As you already mentioned, and visit our blog. There are some very interesting and deep articles and blog posts on it, which you can read and give you a little bit deeper insights than what we talked about today. Also, if you're interested or feeling lost and helpless in the mobility world and try to improve and get a structured program, individualized exercises just designed for you, then click the button down below and book your free call with one of us, and we are happy to help you. So see you in the next video.